सर मेरा ख्याल तो अब आ जाना चाहिए। यहाँ लाइव दिखा रहा है।
अभी आ गया मैडम।
आ गया। ओके सर, यहाँ चैट बॉक्स कहाँ से आएगा? ये जो कमेंट सेक्शन है यहाँ पर।
कमेंट सेक्शन में आएगा मैडम।
अच्छा, और सर मेरा ऑडियो क्लियर है आपको?
अभी आपको ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा मेरे को।
ऑडियो नहीं आ रहा है। अब देखिए।
नहीं आ रहा है मैडम, आ रहा है। जी जी, ऑडियो वीडियो बोलना क्लियर है। ओके।
Namaskar. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Yes, a very good afternoon to all dear students, to all the contemporaries, to colleagues, to seniors, and to all in the audience who are watching this live. So students, today we are here to commemorate the International Day of Innocent Children, Victims of Aggression. Before starting, students, definitely I would want to wish and express my heartfelt gratitude towards Dr. Mr. Ashok Sharma, Regional Director, RC Delhi 1 IGNOU. Thank you, sir, for giving me this platform to connect with wonderful students and to commemorate this special day. Alright students, good afternoon. Students, of course you must be wondering who am I and why am I here? I am Dr. Priya Bhatnagar, and I am a psychologist and an academician. And today I am here with you to discuss, talk, and to understand the commemoration of this day. And this day is called International Day of Innocent Children, Victims of Aggression. Students, I can see a lot of questions that pertain to your assignments, that pertain to your admit cards and IDs and results. Perhaps I am not the correct person to answer upon this. I'm a resource person. So definitely if we could ask these questions to the concerned faculty, concerned department, and just be here with the idea of understanding the topic for today. All right. So, students, this day is celebrated on 4th of June of every year, and this day has come in response to the pain suffered by children. ये दिन उस रिस्पॉन्स में आया है जहाँ पर बच्चों में बहुत पेन पाई गई. And what kind of pain are we talking about? We are talking about physical pain, emotional pain, and mental pain, which means holistic pain. ये दिन उन बच्चों के लिए डेडिकेटेड है जो किसी किस्म का अग्रेशन और पेन सफर कर रहे हैं. And this day is a UN affirmation to the idea that we understand this pain, to the idea that we want to help children with this pain, and our today's initiative is also a help to such children. जब हम उनको समझते हैं तो बच्चों को लगता है कि हाँ, मेरे साथ कोई है, मैं अपना दर्द किसी के साथ शेयर कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. अगर आप में और मेरे में वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी, अगर हम समझ पाएंगे कि अग्रेशन क्या है और ये किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ता है, कैसे पनपता है, कैसे बच्चों पे इम्पैक्ट करता है, तभी शायद हम उस दर्द को भी महसूस कर पाएंगे, तभी शायद हम उस पेन के साथ रेजोनेट कर पाएंगे. So students, everyone here, it's very important for us to understand that what and how are we relating to this topic today. ये दिन students एक तो आया response में with the war between the Palestinians and the Lebanese, and from that war a lot of children suffered, because of which Gracia Marshall had created a very, very heart-warming report on the pain of children, which got recognition in the legislations. Now, when this happened, it came up to the idea that it is important for us to understand aggression and impact of aggression in children. आप उस बच्चे की मनोस्थिति समझ सकते हैं जिसने वॉर देखा हो और जिसने अपने माता पिता, अपनी फैमिली को उस वॉर में अफेक्ट होते देखा हो, जिसने अपना परिवार खो दिया हो. जिन बच्चों ने वो पेन एक्सपीरियंस करा है, आज हम उन्हें समझने के लिए हैं, और आज हम ये समझने के लिए हैं कि अग्रेशन क्या है, व्हाट इज अग्रेशन, और अग्रेशन का बच्चों पर कैसा इम्पैक्ट रहता है. Don't you think it is something extremely vital for each one of us to dig into, to understand? Yes, students, certainly it is. When I talk about aggression, students, aggression term हम बहुत बारी laymanist language में use करते हैं. You know, being a psychologist, I come across many spaces where people say that I am feeling aggressive today. Right? And many times this term is misused and abused. गुस्सा आने को aggression नहीं कहते हैं. There's a huge difference in anger and in aggression. one has to understand that when we talk about aggression, we conceptually clearly understand what is aggression. Only then we'll be able to draw the analogy between aggression and impact of aggression on children. क्या है aggression? Aggression, students, by and large, is a very strong feeling of harming others. अगर मैं इसको सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझाऊं तो हमें शुरू होता है इरिटेशन से. The precursor is some event that builds irritation in us. इरिटेशन समझते हैं चिड़चिड़ा हो जाना किसी चीज के ऊपर. उस इरिटेशन से बढ़ते बढ़ते अगर वो चीज कंट्रोल ना हो तो हम लीड करते हैं एंगर में. हमें गुस्सा आ जाता है. उस गुस्से में आप कुछ बोल सकते हैं, आप ऊंचा आवाज निकालते हैं, आप अपने आप को बंद कर सकते हैं. देयर कुड बी मेनी एक्सप्रेशंस ऑफ एंगर. बट व्हेन एंगर reaches out to a physical expression, reaches out with an intention of harming the other person, that is where, students, we are on to the idea of aggression. Anger से aggression फर्क है. Anger emotional होता है. Anger is an emotion. Aggression is behavioral. आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है, आपको चिड़चिड़पन हो रहा है, उसके बाद अगर आपका मन करे कि मैं इसको जाकर शूट कर दूं या मैं इसका सर पे दीवार मार दूं, वो अग्रेशन है. फिजिकल बिहेवियरल मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ एंगर रीचेस आउट टू अग्रेशन. हमने बहुत जगह अग्रेशन देखा है स्टूडेंट्स. वी हैव सीन इट मेनी स्पेसेस. पर हम लोग क्या बोल देते हैं, अरे उसको गुस्सा ज्यादा आ गया था तभी उसने ऐसे कर दिया. फिजिकल अब्यूज, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस, दीज आर ऑल एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ अग्रेशन एंड नॉट एंगर. एंगर में आप अपने अंदर एक इनर डायलॉग क्रिएट करते हैं. आप अपने आप के साथ एक कॉन्वर्सेशन में आते हैं जहां पर आप कहते हैं कि हाँ मुझे इस पर गुस्सा आ रहा है. योर आईज टेंड टू डायलेट, योर वॉल्यूम टेंड्स टू इंक्रीज. But when it comes to aggression, it passes all these boundaries of intra and reaches inter. फिर आप हाथ उठा सकते हैं, आप कोई चीज उठाकर सामने वाले के ऊपर मार सकते हैं. वहां पर aggression की beginning हो जाती है. That is where you are experiencing aggression and you have crossed the barrier or the boundary of anger and moved into the premises of aggression. Yes, anger is the precursor of aggression. That is true. I would resonate with that. Anger is a precursor of aggression. Anger and aggression can be differentiated very classically. I have told you the differences. Aggression, students, tends to be a very complex and subjective idea. ये थोड़ा complex emotion है. ये प्राइमरी इमोशन नहीं है, ये कॉम्प्लेक्स है. ये फ्यूजन ऑफ इमोशंस है. फ्यूजन ऑफ इमोशंस का मतलब होता है इसमें ब्लेंडेड बहुत सारे इमोशंस का ब्लेंड है. जैसे गुस्सा होता है, एंगर है, फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट है, नाराजगी है अपने आप से या सामने वाले से, डिसगस्ट है, आप डिसगस्टेड हो रहे हैं उनके एक्शन से, उदासी भी है. You're sad that why is it happening to you or why is it happening to people around you, right? So it is a blend of emotions. It is complex state of emotions. Now, knowing that anger is complex, knowing that anger, aggression is difficult to understand, we also have to look at one point that aggression is a subjective feeling. Subjective माने इंडिविजुअल टू इंडिविजुअल पे डिपेंड करता है कि अग्रेशन कैसा होगा. एक सिचुएशन आपके लिए अग्रेसिव हो सकती है, दूसरे के लिए नहीं हो सकती. An experience of aggression is also subjective. If somebody hits me, I might take it as an aggressive act against you. But if somebody hits you, you might take it as a very normal act. Now this is also very context dependent. In what areas, in what backgrounds have we developed? Like for instance, people who see aggression at their houses very frequently, they don't get intimidated with it. उनको वो कुछ बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं लगती है. उनको लगता है ठीक है, मारा ना, क्या हुआ, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. But for those who've not seen aggression at home, for them a slightest tinge of aggression can be very debilitating, can be very, very overwhelming as a response. So aggression is very subjective. It is not objective. It is not H2 plus O2 is equal to H2O. It isn't that. Right. When I come to aggression, students, I want you to understand that aggression is an observable behavior. आप उसको देख सकते हैं. It is tangible. It can be seen. It is an overt behavior. Psychology में हम कहते हैं, हम differentiate करते हैं overt behavior and covert behavior. Overt behavior जो दिखता है, covert behavior जो दिखता नहीं है. Aggression क्या है? Aggression overt observable behavior है. हम aggressive actions देख सकते हैं. Killing, hitting, kicking, shouting, throwing, pushing, all these are observable actions which make you conclude that yes, it is aggression. Then further, something very important in aggression, students, is that aggression is intentional. आपके अंदर इंटेंट होती है सामने वाले को हार्म करने की. आपके अंदर वो मंशा होती है कि मैं इसको मारूं, कि मैं इसको चोट पहुंचाऊं, कि मैं इसको हार्म करूं, in any of the other ways, whether it is through hitting, whether it is through verbal abuse or anything, but the intention in you is very clear to harm the other person. Then another tangent to aggression is that the person who is falling prey of aggression, that person tends to avoid that harm. This means that both the parties are equally involved in the aggressive phase. In that episode, both the parties are involved. It is important for you to know that when person A has aggressive tendency towards person B is trying to avoid that aggressive action, then it becomes an aggressive episode. जैसे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस है, हस्बैंड ने उठाकर अपनी वाइफ की तरफ कुछ मारा और वाइफ ने बचने की, सेल्फ डिफेंस की कोशिश करी. It becomes an encounter, it becomes an episode of aggression, right? So these are certain characteristics that make aggression different from small differing nuances like anger and also like violence. Violence, students, many spaces I have seen people substituting aggression with violence. I would say there's a difference. Both of them are very strong nuances, but the difference is that aggression leads to violence, and violence is a more severe form of aggression. Like aggression is a severe form of anger, violence is a severe form of aggression. Violence includes majorly physical hitting. Physical abuse comes under violence. Now, when we talk about aggression, students, जब हम aggression के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, हमें ये समझना ज़रूरी है कि aggression के दौरान क्या चेंजेस आते हैं हमारे अंदर. जब आप एंगर से अग्रेशन की तरफ हैं तो क्या चेंजेस आप एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं. सबसे पहला फिजिकल चेंजेस आते हैं, बॉडीली चेंजेस आते हैं, और ये हम सब अपने अंदर ऑब्जर्व करते हैं. वेरी सिंपल, लाइक यू स्टार्ट, योर आईज स्टार्ट डायलेटिंग, विच मीन्स आईज बड़ी हो जाती हैं, योर नॉस्ट्रिल्स टेंड टू एक्सपैंड, योर टीथ टेंड टू क्लिंच, योर फिस्ट टेंड्स टू क्लिंच. Then there could be sweating, there could be shivering, tremoring in the body. Your heart rate could increase, there could be palpitations, and there could be an extreme form of restlessness experienced in the body. आप बहुत रेस्टलेस हो जाते हैं, एक जगह पर आप काम नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. You are moving here and there. Your body is fidgety. कुछ भी नहीं टिक रहा है. Yes, knitted brows, very correct. Frown on the forehead. Your eyebrows tend to knit. And that shows that you are in anger. And if not worked upon, it could be aggression. Then your tone of voice escalates. The pitch becomes shrieking and louding. You tend to shout on top of your voice. Further, it could be different symptoms whereby you might try and do stamping of feet. You know, people stamp their feet. अपने पैर से जमीन पर मारना. Stamping of feet. Some people tend to swear a lot. I swear I haven't done it. I swear I haven't done it. That swearing is also an act of mild aggression. Loud speech, lack of control on your total body language, your entire body becoming stiff, your face becoming frowned, your speech becoming loud, pitch increasing, at times stammering can also come in. These are all changes that we experience during aggression. So these are certain aspects that we need to understand that help us identify when it is aggression. Normal गुस्सा हर बारी aggression नहीं होता है, और हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि हम anger में कब हैं और aggression में कब हैं और violence में कब हैं. We have to understand the difference. These are all nuances very closely related, and it is very important for each one of us to understand how these things occur in phenomena and how do they differentiate from each other, so that we can also understand the impact in exclusion. हमें पता होना चाहिए गुस्से का impact क्या है, aggression का क्या impact है, and definitely violence का क्या impact है. So all these things have to be very clearly put into our understanding. Now if I come down, students, हम ये समझ गए हैं कि aggression क्या है. अब हमें ये समझना है कि aggression क्यों होता है. Why does it occur? Why does it happen? उसके causes क्या है. अगर हम causes समझेंगे तभी हम उसके treatment पे आ पाएंगे, तभी हम उसका effect भी समझ पाएंगे. क्या effect होता है? जब हमें यही नहीं पता कि वो चीज़ आ कैसे रही है, हम उसके इफेक्ट को कैसे क्वांटिफाई, कैसे मेजर या कैसे महसूस करेंगे. तो देखते क्या कॉजेस है अग्रेशन के. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स दैट लीड टू अग्रेशन, एंड इट्स नॉट वन डे अफेयर. It's not something that just begins and ends. There are many triggers related to it. And there are many explanations that have been given to understand the causes or etiology of aggression. So, one of the very classical theories that came up was frustration-aggression hypothesis, and that was given by Dollard in 1939. He explained that aggression is a result of frustration. अब यहाँ पर एक और नुआंस है, आइए उसको समझते हैं. फ्रस्ट्रेशन क्या है? फ्रस्ट्रेशन इज an experience of a complex emotion when your goals get blocked. आप जो करना चाहते हैं अगर आप वो नहीं कर पाते हैं, उस समय आपको क्या एक्सपीरियंस होता है? वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन है. और पहली बारी में ही फ्रस्ट्रेशन नहीं होता है. Repeatedly, when your goals get blocked, you are trying to attain a goal but you're unable to, and this happens at a very, very repetitive stage. It happens repeatedly to you. What do you experience? Very deep frustration. आप कोई एग्जाम क्वालिफाई करना चाहते हैं, every time you sit in the exam, you're just left by 2 marks or 1 mark or a very marginal difference. At the end of giving some attempts, what do you feel? नहीं, मैं नहीं अब एग्जाम देंगी. I'm not giving it anymore. No, I don't want it. You are experiencing frustration. If this frustration, students, is not dealt appropriately, is not looked into appropriately, it can definitely lead to an act of aggression. पहले आप फ्रस्ट्रेट होते हैं, उसके बाद आप अग्रेशन को लीड करते हैं. सो इट टेंड्स टू शो अ लीनियरिटी. A leads to B, फ्रस्ट्रेशन लीड्स टू अग्रेशन. तो अगर हमें अग्रेशन को कंट्रोल करना है, हमें क्या कंट्रोल पहले करना होगा? फ्रस्ट्रेशन, जो उसका प्रीकर्सर है. हमें वो एरियाज को आइडेंटिफाई करना होगा जहां से हम फ्रस्ट्रेट हो रहे हैं. Alright, there's another explanation that talks about aggression, and this explanation, I'm sure some students of psychology here would resonate with me, they would understand, comes from the learning approaches to understanding the phenomena. Aggression can come through classical conditioning, or in simple terms, pairing, associating. जब हम देखते हैं, मानिए कि एक बच्चे को उसके पेरेंट्स ने टीवी देखने से मना किया और वो बच्चा हर बारी टीवी देखता है. उस बच्चे को जब भी वो टीवी देखा, पहले पेरेंट्स ने गुस्सा किया, फिर पेरेंट्स ने आकर उसको हिट किया. नाउ इन द हेड ऑफ द चाइल्ड इट विल गेट एसोसिएटेड. टीवी is equal to a slap, right? Watching TV is going to give me a slap. The child has paired this. Now there is a probability that if that slap is given every time to the child, there is extinction happening. Extinction मतलब उसका असर खत्म हो गया बच्चे पर. फिर बच्चा सोचता है अच्छा टीवी देखेंगे तो क्या है, एक स्लैप ही मिलेगा ना, खा लेंगे, हर बारी खाते हैं, इस बारी भी खा लेंगे. And the child gets prepared, and the child becomes then resistant to any of your efforts to not make him watch television. This is conditioning. This is association of two things together. Aggression can definitely come as a result of this. There is also another reason, students, where aggression follows as a result of reinforcements and punishments. This is operant conditioning. Students of psychology would understand here. In laymanish language, any behavior that is rewarded increases in frequency, and any behavior that is punished reduces in frequency. If you date back to the time that you were in school, go back to your junior classes. A clap in the class used to be such a good reinforcer. छोटे बच्चों के लिए clap कितना important होता है. Or that one smiley on the hand that the teacher makes, or that one star that the teacher used to give. It was not the star, but it was the child who used to shine. That appreciation led to an repetitive doing good behaviors. अगर आपको मैम ने सिखाया है नंबर 3 लिखना और आपने बहुत अच्छा लिखा है और मैम ने आपको एक स्टार दिया है, that makes you reinforced to write number 3 and the other numbers also very good, so that you can get more stars and you can get more smileys and get more applauded. This is the impact of reinforcement. On the other hand, impact of punishment. Punishment दी जाती है किसी नेगेटिव बिहेवियर को स्टॉप करने के लिए. In schools, in your classrooms, when teacher used to tell you to go outside and stand, from her end she was giving you a punishment. She was devoiding you out of the class that happened. But little she knew that you were enjoying outside. She didn't know this. She thought that she's devoiding you of the learned classes that are happening. But students are at their own spree. However, it is not every time that students enjoy this. For some students, it is really very, very heart-paining to be thrown out of the class. Because for them, they cannot accept it. Because for them, it is important to be a good student. And if that student is given a punishment, definitely the student does not repeat the negative behavior. Now let us use these two concepts to understand aggression. Reinforcement and punishment. जब एक behavior को हमने रिवॉर्ड कर दिया, मान लीजिए अगर किसी बच्चे के घर में उसके बड़े भाई ने उसकी सिस्टर पर कुछ फेंक दिया और उस सिस्टर को चोट लग गई, और वहां पर बड़े भाई को पेरेंट्स ने नहीं डांटा, या जो एक प्रोपोर्शनेट पनिशमेंट होनी चाहिए थी वो नहीं दी, उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा? उसका इम्पैक्ट ये होगा कि उस बच्चे को अपनी गलती नहीं समझ आएगी. The child will not be able to take it or understand it as his or her fault, and will not be able to understand the consequences of mistake. आपने क्या किया? आपने उस बच्चे का हिटिंग बिहेवियर रीइंफोर्स कर दिया, आपने उसको एनकरेज कर दिया, क्योंकि आपने सही समय पर नहीं रोका. अगर एक बच्चा बहुत झूठ बोलता है और पेरेंट्स जानते हैं वो झूठ बोल रहा है, लेकिन उसको वहां पर कुछ कहते नहीं है, तो बच्चा क्या समझेगा? मेरा झूठ तो चल रहा है, मैं तो सक्सेसफुल हूं, आई कैन मैनिपुलेट पीपल. एंड देन दीज आर द चिल्ड्रन हु डेवलप मैनिपुलेटिव टेंडेंसीज, crime efficient manipulative tendencies, criminally significant manipulative tendencies, because they were not stopped at the right space and their wrong behavior was encouraged. Coming down to punishment. अब punishment में क्या होता है? जैसे मैंने पहले एग्जाम्पल दिया, जब हम बहुत ज्यादा पनिशमेंट दे देते हैं तो बच्चा उसका एक्सेप्ट कर लेता है. द चाइल्ड गेट्स प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर पनिशमेंट. द चाइल्ड इज रेडी. द चाइल्ड फील्स ओके, व्हाट नेक्स्ट? Initially it was a slap on one cheek, now it is going to be a slap on the other cheek. This is the maximum. And the child then derives other measures to watch TV. If you switch off the TV, if you do cut off cable connections, the child will do any possible theft to go and watch TV. And that's not the interest of the child in TV. The interest of the child is to beat you once again, is to defeat you once again. The child is not revolting on the fact, on the logic of not watching TV. The child is revolting onto you as a critical parent. बच्चा आपके खिलाफ रिबेल कर रहा है. Very nicely the child is showing opposition, defiance and expressions of conduct disorders. But who led it? Critical parenting led it. So these are spaces, small spaces, from where aggression starts building up as a construct, as an emotion, and as a behavioral expression. Another reason for aggression students is also observational learning. Bandura's concept very well understood in aggression. अगर आप अग्रेशन घर में देखते हैं या अपने समाज में, अपनी सोसाइटी में, अपने स्कूल में, अपने एनवायरमेंट में देखते हैं, आप वहां से अग्रेशन सीखते हैं और फिर आप उसको किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अप्लाई करते हैं उसकी क्रिटिकल सेंस आपको नहीं डेवलप होती, बिकॉज इट इज एन एक्वायर्ड बिहेवियर. इट इज नॉट एन अंडरस्टूड बिहेवियर, इट इज एन एक्वायर्ड बिहेवियर. यू जस्ट एक्वायर इट. आप उसको एक्वायर कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, उन्होंने इस समय जब मेरी माँ ने ऊंचा बोला तो मेरे फादर ने खाने की प्लेट उठाकर फेंक दी. नेक्स्ट टाइम जब माँ आपसे ऊंचा बोलती है, आपके हाथ में खाने की प्लेट होती है, आप वो फेंक देते हैं. When you grow up and when you have your wife, if she raises her voice against anything, you have your food plate and you throw your food plate. So today's throwing of food plate can be a reason of you seeing this in your childhood, observing this and picking it up, purely picking it up without understanding as a behavior. Another reason students of aggression is to understand how we appraise the situation. कई बार क्या होता है कि जब हम physically aroused होते हैं, when we are already in that arousal state of anger, और उस समय अगर हमें कोई और इंटरैक्शन मिल जाए जहां पर सामने वाला भी एंग्री है, तो हम अपने एंगर को और वैलिडेट कर देते हैं. इट्स कॉल्ड लेबलिंग. वी लेबल इट दैट yes, I am angry. If you wouldn't have encountered another situation, perhaps you would have cooled down. But because it gets validation, you tend to label your emotion as I am angry. कई लोग जब उनका आईज डायलेट होती हैं, कई लोग जब उनका एक्सप्रेशंस चेंज होते हैं, दे स्टार्ट लेबलिंग based on the physical emotions, physical expressions. They start labeling the emotion as aggression. Ideally, it should be the other way around. You first understand the emotion and then physically express it. So for such people, it goes the other way around. They change it. क्योंकि आंसू आ रहे हैं इसलिए मैं रो रही हूँ. मैं रो रही हूँ इसलिए नहीं आंसू आ रहे हैं. I am feeling sad not because of that. Tears are there, but because tears are there, therefore I am ought to label it as crying. और फिर मैं अपने अंदर ढूंढती हूँ, अच्छा क्या रीजन है जो मुझे आंसू आ रहे हैं. कोई तो रीजन होगा that I am crying. Let me identify that one particular reason, right? So labeling happens. Then there is another theory that tends to explain how aggression gets transferred from one situation to another. So let us say a couple had a fight between them, and in that fight it was a heated argument, maybe some expression of aggression was also there, and then suddenly the child came over and the child wanted to say something which perhaps was offensive to one of the parents. So now the parents' frustration got transferred onto the child. Initially what it was perhaps to the wife, now it got transferred to the child, where the father started beating the child. This is excitation transfer theory. When the gap between two arousing events is less, your frustration from one event gets transferred to the other event and you don't realize it. You don't understand that why is it happening. I didn't want to hit my child, but I happened hitting him. And this might lead to emergence of guilt later. Then lastly, there is aggression model, general aggression model, which takes into account the biological factors or the genetic factors, the environmental conditions, and the personality construct of the individual together as a product leading to aggression. So at times we are genetically predisposed in terms that you would carry that vulnerability to acquire aggression easier because your parents or one of your parent is very aggressive in nature. So you're genetically predisposed. In the other case, your environment shows a lot of aggression. You see aggression every day in your house. And then your personality type, maybe you're a type A personality, very hyperactive, extremely restless. So this becomes a very deadly combination. A, genetically predisposed, B, seeing aggression in the environment, and C, having a personality style that is automatically predisposing you to experience very, very intense aggression. So these are in brief some causes of aggression, and we try and look into all these causes individually whenever we have to treat aggression. Now let me come down, students, to something important, something relevant to today's context. Understanding aggression, understanding causes. Now I'm coming down to what impact does it have on innocent children. कहना आसान है स्टूडेंट्स कि हर बच्चा अग्रेशन देखता है, बिल्कुल देखता है, बट उस बच्चे के जहन पे क्या बीतती है, दिस वी आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. वी कैन नॉट गेज दिस unless and until you yourself somewhere have been a party or an experience to aggression. Receiving aggression can be a lifetime damage to a child, because it has such debilitating effects. That is why today's day we commemorate as International Day. It is globally commemorated. It is not that we have come out of our own choice and created it. It's an international day. It is backboned by UN. Why? Because they can understand the debilitating damage it creates on children. What is it? What damage? Here, if I talk about students, we have to consider first acts of aggression, like war, like killing, or maybe sexual abuse that happens to children, or maybe abduction, violent actions that happen in schools, denial of human rights to children. All these things come as aggressive acts. Now let us just get into the idea of what impact it creates. One of the major things is, students, if a child is exposed to any of these aggressive acts, whether it is a war or it is a physical abuse or anything, it is going to have a very, very strong impact onto the psyche of the child. The psyche could become extremely fragile, extremely weak, where the child may tend to become a weak personality, a broken self inside, a fragmented self inside, and the child may just look for some integration somewhere. Also, the personality might become extremely weak, might become very, very soft, where you tend to break up, where you tend to have less of belief in yourself. You might relate to your own self very negatively. Lack of self-belief, a poor self-image, where you don't like your own self. You don't want to see your own self. In a way, you hate your own self. You do not like yourself. You hate your own self. And somebody who doesn't like own self has lesser chances to be liked by others. And even if he or she is liked by others, it's very difficult for this person to believe that yes, others like me. It's very difficult for this person to accept that I am liked by others. So, lack of self-belief, a poor self-image, all in all, a very poor negative self-concept. And a child with poor negative self-concept tends to relate poorly in academics, relate poorly in interpersonal relationships, and definitely is not in consonance with own self. So all in all, a holistic damage is produced. Further, students, the impact of such ideas is so strong that it might bring in a sense of fear in children. जिन बच्चों ने वॉर देखा है उनमें सेंस ऑफ फियर ऑटोमेटिकली आता है. So they show very startled reactions. Anxiety becomes very core component to them. अगर जोर से बिजली कड़की तो उनको डर लगता है, अगर लाइट चली जाए तो उनको डर लगता है, डोरबेल बजी तो स्टार्टल रिएक्शन आता है, बिकॉज दे एंटिसिपेट समथिंग रॉन्ग इज गोइंग टू हैपन. कोई टेररिस्ट अभी अंदर आ जाएगा, मेरा घर खत्म हो जाएगा. दे लिव इन अ वेरी मोमेंटरी फेज. दे कांट स्टेबलाइज विद इमोशंस. उनको लगता है ये सब अभी एक बबल है जो बर्स्ट हो जाएगा. I will lose everything that I have. I will not have anything to stay with. So, fear, anxiety, both these things come up as very, very strong emotions, perpetuated emotions amongst these children. Further, students, there's an element of separation anxiety that builds in. Separation anxiety, डर कि वो मेरे से अलग हो जाएंगे. जनरली सेपरेशन एंजाइटी की हम बात करते हैं जब एक माँ अपने बच्चे को छोड़ के जाती है, तो माँ के जाने से जो बच्चा एक्सपीरियंस करता है वो सेपरेशन एंजाइटी होता है, जहाँ पर बच्चा कई बारी एक पिल्लो के साथ बहुत अटैच्ड हो जाता है या एक अपने सॉफ्ट टॉय के साथ अटैच हो जाता है, बिकॉज उस टॉय को बच्चा अपनी माँ का सब्स्टिट्यूट मानता है. एंड द चाइल्ड शोज separation anxiety in different ways. When the mother comes back, the child does not leave the mother. The child does not let the mother go anywhere. The child will hold the dupatta of the mother and keep walking behind her. Or the child may even end up hitting the mother, biting the mother. They do this. These are all signals of separation anxiety. So a child, you can imagine, a child who has seen war, a child who has seen a terrorist attack, that child will feel, I don't know when I will see my family, and in the next moment I may not see my family. It might lead to separation anxiety and to many such experiences. Then students, in cases of sexual abuse, where children have been victims of sexual abuse, it's very difficult to understand their pain. A, they are not able to verbalize what has happened with them. B, they do not know whom to report and how to report it. And C, their expressions to abuse they're not very clear cut. You have to understand how it is, where has it hurt the child. But yes, it has definitely produced a sheer psychological pain. So with sexual abuse, what happens generally is psychologically the child ends up having a very serious mistrust on people around. Alongside, the child tends to hate one's own body, because the body has been treated as the source of pleasure. So the child feels that no, my body the child sees body as the reason of the pain, and therefore tends to develop a dislike towards own body. So these are a lot of spaces. With sexual abuse, the pain experienced to the child lasts for very long, because the child has not been in that space of explaining it. Today you and me, we have language, we have expressions, we can read, we can write, we can speak, and we can explain the pain that we are going through. Whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's sexual, whether it's psychological, we have n number of ways to express. But think about a child, an innocent child, who has become a victim of perversion. How does that child relate to one's own self and to others in situations? It's a difficult phase and requires very strong counseling assistance. Further, when we look into the effects or the impact of aggression students, we see a lot of children who have been under aggression as recipients of aggression. They tend to have a lot of trust issues. They are unable to trust other people. The trust does not come because inside they have a fear that I might be betrayed again. I should know how to live independent, and I should know how to do my things independently. I do act over me. How will they treat me? And when they would leave me and go. So there's a sense of betrayal, there's a sense of mistrust. And these are personalities that develop into very, very unhealthy adults. So today, if any of your friend has trust issues, please try and look back into the past of your friend. Maybe he or she has suffered with some pain, similar pain. Another impact is, many people report, is that such children tend to show social isolation. They don't want to make friends. They want to keep themselves within themselves because they don't want to have dependency on anybody. Why? Because they are not sure of the other person and they are not sure of dependency. They have a fear. What if I start talking to her and tomorrow she walks away? Or tomorrow there's a terrorist attack and she's taken away from me? I don't want to feel separation again. So these children have a strong inability to make friends. They are very introverted. They tend to have a turn within themselves. A retreat to own self happens. And this is difficult. Also, at times, such children carry the inability to empathize with others. They are not able to step into the shoes of other people and see the world as they are seeing. That is empathy. That is what you and me practice. I, as a psychologist, practice it as my core technique in counseling. Stepping into the shoes and resonating with the client. With such children, this virtue is snatched because they are themselves so insecure, they are themselves so much in grief and pain that they cannot step into the other person's shoe. They cannot feel the pain of the other person. And lack of empathy students can become a very, very strong personality characteristic which can have criminal significance. कई बारी हम सोचते हैं ये criminals कैसे मार देते हैं, how heartless they are. But let's always understand, criminal is never born. By and large, criminals are made. There is some situation, there is some pain that they have also experienced in their life. Some deprivation that they have gone through, because of which they experience or they practice out, they act out their anger, their aggression by hurting others, by killing others. Lastly, such children happen to have a very strong confusion in relationships. They get confused whom to like, whom to talk to, whom to not talk to, whether this person is trustworthy or not, whether I should be friends with this person or not. There's a strong sense of confusion, and because the child is unable to answer the confusion, the child feels, let it be, I don't want to make friends, I'm okay alone. And growing up, they don't want to make a companion in a life. Even if they have a companion, it's very difficult for them to settle in with that companion. All in all, students, it's a extremely difficult situation. It's an extremely debilitating pain that today we are talking about. Innocent children who have been victims of some or the other forms of aggression. It is not easy to respond to them, it is not easy to understand them. But definitely, understanding aggression and understanding the impact, I am sure that you would be facilitated now to have a bandwidth to understand such children and the pain that they experience. So if a child tends to misbehave, students, anytime, please understand that there is some pain behind. If an adult shows some kind of abrupt behavior, a disproportionate behavior, before negatively attributing, positively attribute and say to yourself, perhaps he has also gone through some pain, some suffering that needs to be answered. Not essentially that everybody has been a party to this, but let's at least bring it in our awareness and be mindful while we treat others. Now, quickly, I am going to go down to how can we just help such children. First of all, having a very strong understanding of it, that I tried to deliver today. Of course, this is not exhaustive, and you would need much more understanding on this. For taking it as first attempt, understanding what is aggression, what are the types of aggression, how it comes in expression, and then relating to children with positivity. That's very important. Understanding children, understanding every child as unique, understanding every child as special, understanding every child in the context that he comes from. All this needs to be understood very well. All this needs to be taken in very well. Further, parenting. Understanding when your parenting is becoming critical, when it is leading to more damage than good, that has to be very carefully taken care of. It's a very beautiful saying, we become parents by default, but we are never taught parenting. We don't know how to parent, but all of us become parents. It's such an important life skill, students, that I feel that it should come as a subject in 11th and 12th. It is very important to understand the impact of parenting on the emotional development of your children. So we have to understand that, am I only parenting because I am a parent, or I am parenting because I want my child to grow and to emerge up to the fullest potentials. And parents themselves are very tired. So they also have to be understood in that vacuum. They also have to be treated. They also have to be heard. Their concerns are magnanimous. So parenting has to be very careful. Then, of course, children, understanding children in schools is very important, where we have to be very careful. Most of the aggressive acts happen in school, and it starts from very small ones. पुशिंग, छोटे बच्चे एक दूसरे को धक्का देते हैं, वो अग्रेशन है. किसी को जानबूझ के धक्का देना कि उसको चोट लग जाए और सामने वाले को बचना. अगर उसको पता लग रहा है तो वो बचे, लेकिन दूसरा वाला इंटेंशन के साथ है कि इसको चोट लगे, वो अग्रेशन है. किकिंग, शाउटिंग, हिटिंग, ये छोटे छोटे खेल से बच्चों में स्टार्ट होता है, लेकिन जब वो इंटेंटफुल बन जाता है, जब वो पर्पसफुल बन जाता है, तो वो अग्रेशन की तरफ आ रहा है. इस समय आपको एज पेरेंट, फैकल्टी को, टीचर को, सबको सतर्क रहना है कि क्या ये खेल है या बच्चा इसमें सैडिस्टिक प्लेजर भी ले रहा है. One has to be very careful as to what your child is experiencing. It's not play anymore. It's intentful. It is highly purposeful. It is made to harm others. So you have to pay extreme attention to the act and deal with the child very, very strategically, politely, and believing that trust in the child, that the child can come back to the parents. हम क्या करते हैं, अगर हमें स्कूल से कंप्लेंट आती है तो पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चे को डांट देते हैं. क्यों मारा था तुमने उसको, क्यों धक्का दिया था? अरे ये तो उसको सब पता है ना कि उसने क्यों दिया था. लेकिन अगर आप उसके अंतर मन में झांकेंगे तब आपको एक्चुअल उसका पर्सपेक्टिव समझ में आएगा. जरूरी नहीं है उसका पर्सपेक्टिव ठीक हो, बट आप उसको करेक्ट करेंगे तब जब आप उसके पर्सपेक्टिव को अच्छे से समझेंगे, उसकी एंगर को डील करेंगे. Anger in children has to be channelized. There have to be a lot of measures by which you channelize anger. Especially आजकल के लॉकडाउन पीरियड में बहुत केसेस हैं जहाँ पर अग्रेशन बढ़ रहा है. एडल्ट्स में बढ़ रहा है, बच्चों में बढ़ रहा है, बिकॉज देयर इज अ फीलिंग ऑफ बीइंग केज्ड. बच्चे बंद हो रहे हैं, क्या करेंगे, नीचे जा नहीं सकते हैं और बच्चों में बहुत एनर्जी होती है. हाउ डू वी चैनलाइज इट? Now they are just channelizing it over some games or some computer or some social media, something or the other. And what are they watching on games also? They're playing some violent game like PUBG that came in some time before. Extremely violent game, right? So we need to understand that children need to physically channelize their excessive energy, otherwise it converts into destructive energy. आप बच्चों को पंचिंग बैग ला कर दीजिए, आप उनको रोज एरोबिक एक्सरसाइजेस में एंगेज कीजिए, उनके साथ एंगेजिंग हेल्दी कॉन्वर्सेशंस कीजिए, डू अ लॉट ऑफ मेसी प्ले विद चिल्ड्रन. I know it can be a problem for you, for the mothers specifically, to cater to the mess, but if it heals your child and if it releases that negative energy out of the child, I am sure that we as mothers can definitely take in that charge, right? Even with adults, we are feeling very, very sad because of the lockdown. We are not feeling happy. We are contained at one space. We can't travel. We can't go anywhere. And out of these reasons, one tends to feel uncomfortable inside. One tends to experience negativity. So these are a lot of ways by which we can hang on to understand aggression and to treat aggression. So students, I think I will close it here, and again a very, very heartwarming thank you to each one of you present here for giving it a patient hearing, for resonating with the concepts, and for understanding the idea of commemorating the today's day as International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression. And I'm sure, students, that every year within yourself, with each one of you, with your family, at least you will be able to observe this day of significance. Observe this day, be with your children, explain them the concept of aggression, and try and make it as close as possible to your own self. I also thank my faculty here, my contemporaries, and special thanks to Mr. Ashok Kumar for giving me this opportunity to connect with you, to be with you, and to finally relate on this special day. So thank you, students, and have a nice day ahead. Hope the time with you in lockdown is working in positivity. Please bring in some positivity. Take care of yourself, take care of your significant others, because each one of us are precious. Each one of us are extremely precious to your own self and to others. So my gratitude to you, to RC Delhi 1, to Mr. Ashok Kumar, and to Mr. Sonu for connecting us on this wonderful platform. And with this, I say thanks to you and a warm bye. Namaskar.